Why is it important to do ancestral work? Of my ancestors whom I worked with, I found that they've had all different types of personalities. Some I got along with better than others. Some I liked more than others. Some walked a path and shared beliefs that I lean more towards, and others not so much. Some made choices in which I can understand and maybe even agree with, and others not so much. But you know what's the one thing that I discovered, which was common amongst all of them and even myself, is that each and every one of them were far more complicated than they initially appeared. You see, I realized that each and every one of them had a story. And I realized that, like them, I too have a story. We are all living our story. And our story also involves ripples and echoes of the stories of those who came before us. Their thoughts, their emotions, their beliefs, their pain, suffering, and wounds bleed and ripple and echo in your own awareness. You see, with doing my shadow work, I realized that there are certain wounds, suffering, certain conditions, certain symptoms of behaviors which exist in me and exist in many others who came before me. You see, this helped me a great deal, right? Because it helped me to learn how to empathize and try to find understanding and forgive even, my ancestors and ultimately myself. You see, when we dive into the pit, right, we should dive into the pit as well and bring up, our ancestors, right, who fell, who are in the pit. Because by uplifting them, we ultimately are uplifted as well. There are deep levels of generational wounds and trauma, which each and every one of us, it would be greatly beneficial if we committed to working through. Because when we uplift them, right, remember, us ourselves, we're not only an individual, we're also a collective. Our ancestors, they live on through us. And by us succeeding and making a way, we succeed and make a way for them. Help to balance out their scales, transform the narrative of their story by transmuting their pain and suffering and wounds. Because again, they become our pain and suffering and wounds. I know that there are some people, right, it's extremely, extremely difficult for them to do this. And this may not be the lifetime for them to do this, right? Because some people have experienced deep levels of religious trauma, right, when it comes to some of the beliefs of some of their ancestors. Maybe some of your ancestors may have, family members who came before you may have hurt you, right, and subjected you to certain religious traumas to where you're unable to even approach, right? And so that's totally understandable, right? This, again, it may not be the lifetime for you to engage in this work, but I think it'll be beneficial to do work to integrate an understanding of the importance to do this, so that it can move on with you into your next existence, so that your trajectory can move in a manner which will ultimately bring this about, right? For you to dive into the pit and uplift them and further uplift yourself. You as an individual, you're also a collective. Before you build and establish your own house, you must understand and shape up the house in which you grew up in, that you were forged and molded from. Some of your ancestors are experiencing divine restlessness. Some desire this, but others would like to rest. Some are seeking grace, so do them a solid and give them grace. And do yourself a solid. Give yourself grace as well. You'll be easy.